Hey, have you heard about all these investors going out and buying homes at huge discounts, then fixing them up, completely remodeling them and flipping them for huge profits? What if you could take your home and instead of selling to an investor or selling at a discount, you could actually do the upgrades yourself, hire somebody, finance it, pay at closing, and add value to your home instead of taking a discount? Would you do it? Today, I'm gonna talk to an expert that does exactly that. He's gonna tell you how he does it. He's gonna tell you where to put upgrades in, which upgrades to put into your home to add the most value here in 2023. Let's do this. So I sold a home recently where, we just sometimes like the smallest tweaks will help a home either A, sell for a little bit more money, or B, it'll help the home sell quicker. So there was this house that was listed on the market for 3 months. It was at the time, it was kind of a balanced market. It wasn't like an extreme seller's market, it wasn't an extreme buyer's market. But these people had the house on the market for 3 months, and they delisted it. They took it off the market with this particular listing agent. They called me and I went out, and the first thing I saw was the house was completely staged improperly. Right, I went in and it's like they're just wide open spaces that were closed off, and so I went through the entire house, and I literally just gave them a week's worth of work to do. And I think in their minds they're probably like, is this going to work or is this not going to work? I mean, we're going to dump a bunch of time into this. What's going to happen? So anyway, they went through, they did everything I asked them to do. We went out, we took the professional photos, put it back on the market, sold the house in 2 days. So not exactly what we're going to talk about today. However, the point is, sometimes just the smallest thing can either help a house add value or sell faster. But what you do is is on a whole different level than that. So why don't you tell people who you are, your company, and kind of just in a nutshell, what is it that you do?
Sure. My name is Keith Stanton. I'm the owner of Renovation Scottsdale. I've been doing award-winning interior design for the last 10 years, and 7 years of that, previous to starting this business, 7 years ago, I was doing senior living. So I was traveling the country and Canada, doing large-scale commercial projects to help seniors. And with their medical care, the buildings were designed for that. So 2 years ago, I had a little son.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So traveling became a problem. The day-to-day grind of being in that business created a need for me to create an opportunity for myself. So I looked at when the seniors go into the senior living communities, they sell their homes and they take that money to get the medical care for the rest of their life. So I was looking at what can I do that's design related, construction related, and start a business that I can run for a long term. So I looked at renovation cells, and that's what we do. We do cosmetic updates for homes and try to get the best value for the equity in that home, and allow people to sell them for more and take that profit.
For me, so I've been in the business since 1999. And when we look at home values, if I sit down across the kitchen table from a home seller and we start talking about home values, we run comps and look at home values, you can see a very distinct difference. What we call, it's a 20% price swing, essentially, right? And that's something we've always worked off in real estate, regardless of the community, or it actually works from city to city too. So as an example, a $400,000 home, if it's a total fixer, can sell for $320,000. Exact direct model match, like apples to apples, but this house is a total fixer, where medians are $400,000. This one's selling for $320,000 because it just needs everything. But then you can take a remodeled home and actually price swing that up the other direction, right? And so, with that being said, when you go in and remodel a home, I guess my question, I kind of answered it, but from your perspective, does it add value? I created Phoenix Homes and Hotspots to connect homes with the lifestyle around those homes using the power of video and community. What's up, everybody? My name is Todd Hall. I'm founder of Phoenix Homes and Hotspots right here in beautiful, sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, if you're moving to the Phoenix Metro or thinking about moving to Phoenix, Scottsdale, and you want to know not just where all the great homes are, but what is the community like that surrounds that house, and as well as all the local hotspots in the area, restaurants, shopping, hiking, golf, whatever it might be, you've come to the right spot. We're going to connect all the dots for you. And listen, if you're coming out to the Phoenix Metro, you want to do some of our homes and hotspots tours, all you got to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. That way we can be your key to AZ. Is there the ability to actually add value? In other words, if I put in solar panels, I may not get my $50,000 back. If I put it in a $50,000 pool, I'm going to get it back.
Right.
Can I go in and remodel a home and not only get my value back, but actually increase the value?
I believe so. And I see if you do not do the updates, you're going to get nickeled and dimed from the wholesale perspective, from an investor trying to buy that house. You're going to keep losing money on that, on your investment and your life savings.
So just to clarify, when you say wholesale, you're talking about the investors like the iBuyer type investors, whether it's open door or just a private investor that's going to come in and nickel and dime you because it's like, hey, you know, this house is going to be hard to sell.
Correct. And nobody wants it. They're going quickly now because the investors are buying them. So the homes are going to sell, but you should be able to take that equity out. If you put $50,000 into it, there's potential to get $100,000 more listed. Your 20% delta that you were talking about. We want you to be able to realize that gain, pay for our construction, and then make money on top of it. So the home flipping model that the investors are going to do, we provide a homeowner the ability to do that. We run crews quickly. We can do a kitchen in 3 weeks because we're looking at cosmetic stuff. How do we make this the best house for the best Instagram photos that are going to drive traffic to that home? And we try to negate objectionable views, objectionable items in the home. We try to negate that, neutralize them, and make the house the best. Overall, to most people, or what is the most positive impact that you can have to most people? I want them to come to see the house.
So what are some of the upgrades that actually add value? So we talked about, like from my experience, solar, people are like, should I put solar on my house? Like, well, solar's great if you're the second owner and it's owned free and clear, because I'm actually getting free solar now. It was financed into the house, right? And chances are I didn't pay what the owner paid. So the first owner is usually the big loser on solar. Now, of course, it's different if it's financed or leased. But anyway, so solar, we know most times, if you buy it, you're not getting your value back. If you buy a pool, in today's market, you may get more, although prices of pools have gone up, obviously with supply chain and inflation and everything, but you're at minimum going to get your value back out of pool, and sometimes even more, depending on the price point and, the neighborhood and all that stuff. So, but from an interior standpoint, what are you finding that people are doing that's adding the most value from an interior remodel?
The kitchens and the bathrooms, so if you want broad brushes, those are the rooms we focus on. Countertops are objectionable. They get dated very quickly. If you have granite, that's going to be an objection to a buyer. So we're looking at quartz, we're looking at quartzite, we're looking at marble. What is that high-end material? It's the price point of the home. Make sure that the material is appropriate for that. Fresh paint, fresh flooring. How can we make this house look as fresh as possible? If the windows are in good shape, you don't need new windows. If they're not objectionable and they're functioning, stuff like that, leave it alone. But yeah, kitchens, bathrooms, those are the areas we hit first, and those are the photos that people want to see when they're doing the searches online, and those are the areas we want to hit.
Now you said flooring. So what's it's interesting. First of all, actually, let's go back to countertops.
Sure.
Countertops. Granted, it wasn't that long ago. Granite was the thing, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't that long ago. Now it's quartz and everything else. So you're right. Everything can outdate really quickly. When you say flooring, right now, 2023, right? Summer 2023. What's the flooring well, let's start here. Where are you getting the most bang for your buck? And then what's really like, in other words, cost per maybe return,
sure,
right? And then like what's really the most ideal flooring that you can put in?
So everybody's using folks are using I call it luxury vinyl tile. It's otherwise known as luxury vinyl plank. It's a wood look. material that goes into these homes throughout your family room. It's durable. It's made of it's a plastic material. It's gonna resist wear, and it's going to resist moisture. So that's the highest value we're seeing now. It's the material that's holding up. There's an age gap on that though. Older folks aren't buying into that material. They like the truth of materials, whereas younger folks they like that. That's throughout the hospitality environments that they're seeing, so they're used to seeing that product.
Sure.
So I would say LVT right now. New carpet in your bedrooms. People
So
like
carpet
that.
in the bedrooms?
Yeah.
Carpet
I mean-
bedrooms and tile everywhere else?
Yeah.
Or the luxury vine? Yeah.
So people are putting runners on top of the tile or the areas. So does that person want carpet, or are they going to put runners in there? So you can do either or. They're going to put some sort of soft surface in the bedroom.
And you're gonna, and if you do the bedrooms, then you're gonna pay a little bit less in cost per foot, yeah. The carpet versus any other flooring that you're gonna put in.
Correct.
It's actually a little bit more economical to do it that way.
Correct.
Okay. Back to the kitchen. So cabinets. Cabinets a lot of times same thing, right? The cabinets can get outdated in terms of colors really quick. So what I see a lot of is people not necessarily replacing the cabinets, but actually doing the paint, which is not easy. I mean, I always say most people shouldn't be painting their walls, let alone their kitchen cabinets or their bathroom cabinets. What are you guys doing? Are you doing replacement? Are you doing painting? Or because it seems like paint would be the most economical way to go. But what are you seeing that's the most effective there?
So we're doing two things. When I walk a job, I look at the boxes. I look at those cabinet frames. What kind of shape are they? Are they literally from 1980? Then we need to do new cabinets. So I need to manage the expectations that, okay, this is going to be a 6 to 8 week process. We got to get new cabinets in here. They're rotted out or whatever. Gut check.
Sure.
Step two is, can we reuse the boxes and the faces? Have they been updated in the last 10 years? Is it a shaker cabinet that's just an off-putting color? Can we make it white and then do an accent color on potentially the island? That's the second thing I look at. That's going to be the quickest. If the faces are good, the boxes are good, we can just paint them and be done. If the fronts are of specific pattern, a specific millwork pattern to that drawer and cabinet face front, that may date the home from, let's say, the 90s to early 2000s. We may just replace that, put a new shaker face on that, paint that, and then match that.
Okay.
There's three little aspects to how do we make the kitchen the best and quickly as possible. So.
Hardware, no hardware?
Oh, yes.
Hardware, yeah.
I mean,
Contemporary hardware.
That's the easiest thing to update. We're seeing the brass hardware now, gold look hardware coming. Black is big, and then the standard satin is.
Hey, if you haven't gotten enough here on this YouTube channel and you want more great content on what to do while you're visiting the Phoenix Metro, I just created a new Facebook group. It's called Scottsdale Communities and Hotspots. So when you're done here, head over there. I'm going to show you all the top hotspots in and around Scottsdale, Arizona, from restaurants, nightlife, shopping, golfing, hikes, special events coming to town. I'm going to do some video walkthroughs with local owners and them walking you through their hotspot. And you're going to get lots of great local residents and their recommendations for what you should do while you're visiting here in the Phoenix Metro. So again, when you're done here, head over to the Facebook group, Scottsdale Communities and Hotspots. We'll see you over there. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about going back to just staying with the kitchen for right now.
Yeah.
Color scheme. And so let's start. Let's go color scheme kitchen. Then I want to talk about flooring. So what are you seeing? You started to allude to it in the kitchen. What are the color schemes that are selling best right now?
So blue greens are the trend for this time of year. This 6-month period that we're in. So a neutral neutral background for the cabinets, and then do a bluish green accent on the island. So some people prefer blue, some people prefer blue green aqua. They're not growing great.
You're talking about the countertops?
No, I'm talking about the cabinets.
I'm sorry, the cabinets. Okay.
Cabinet paint.
Interesting.
So you can always do white for the countertops. That's going to be a neutral base for everybody. And then you can build off of that. Otherwise, we're seeing a marble look in the quartz.
Okay. Is it sort of whites, grays out already? Or is that still...
Everybody's sick of gray.
And blacks in kitchen, like whites, grays, blacks. Everybody's getting tired of gray already.
Gray, yes. Black and white, those are classic colors.
Black and white, yeah.
But your grays, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So warm it up. Keep it on the warm side. Go towards a green gray, a yellow gray. Your blue grays, your cold grays, those are getting out of favor.
So let me ask you this. Good point. So let me ask you this. Am I more at risk if I start to go into the blues and greens and into kind of my neutral colors, my grays or my browns or whatever, which brown is much further back, right? But staying neutral a lot of times over time can be a benefit from a standpoint of they don't get outdated as quickly, although you're saying, hey, grays are outdated. We know browns have been outdated for a while, but they're less likely to be offensive to somebody, maybe for a lack of a better word. So am I at risk when I start to get into these blues and greens and stuff like that? Am I at risk of that just becoming obsolete really fast?
So there's two
because if I buy it, I know 10 years from now there's going to be some obsolete to it, but I don't want it to be like, oh, I got to remodel this again.
Right. So let me say there's 3 ways to address that.
Okay.
One is create interest. So if you want to be different and create interest with an accent paint, then that's the way to do it. And so we're painting cabinets. We can paint in 5 years.
Sure. We're talking cabinets. You're right. Good point.
If we did a white cabinet with a white top, you could accessorize that. So you could use bright colorful plates, a vase with some bright flowers on it. You could bring color in that room without touching the materials, the construction materials.
Yep. So staging is.
Yeah. The draperies bring color in. If you're doing glass cabinets, make sure the things behind the glass cabinets are colorful. So I think those are the aspects to how do I create color, but not necessarily something dated. And again, going back to if you want to make a statement and get something different from the field, if you're looking at all the houses in the neighborhood and they're all white with navy blue islands, and you want to do something different, I think it's good to make it stand out as well.
So if you're doing that with the cabinets, then what are we doing with the countertops? Is it staying more neutral, or you said you can add some color into it, but are you staying a little bit more neutral with the countertops?
Yeah, countertops are an expensive product, so I just do neutral. So whites, grays, do a dark charcoal gray, depending on the flavor of the design.
Sure.
And then the white with the marble. That seems to be popular because you can do a white cabinet with the veining and the quartz and make it have a statement and give it visual interest.
Okay, and then so then what are we doing with the flooring as far as the color scheme of the flooring?
Neutral, darker neutral.
Darker neutral?
Yeah, I come from the senior living background. You want some sort of contrast.
Yep.
So let's say your cabinets are white, you want a little bit darker on the floor, just so you kind of see that. They're going a warm, we'll call it a white oak, a warm feel. That's the cabinets and floors. The wood look that we've been putting in lately.
Okay.
I think it's white oak. It's just it's a nice yellowish whitish oak, pretty neutral.
Okay.
It feels warm. It feels very warm.
Backsplash in or out?
Yeah.
Backsplash good.
So that 4-inch, nobody's doing that 4-inch. The countertop matching the 4-inch backsplash. Just get a tile. Spend $25 a foot. Put a nice backsplash tile in there. I mean, if it's white, it's protecting it and it gives it a little texture. So the white, let's say you do a subway tile backsplash, it just creates visual interest. If you want to go out and create some color, tread lightly, right? But yeah, if you want to do an accent paint on the island and bring that color into the backsplash tile, that's the design cohesive. That's something you can do as well.
Okay. And then obviously, so wall color. Obviously, we need to bring it all together. We need to make sure it's all working together. What are you finding to be kind of what people are doing in terms of trends with wall colors?
Warm white, so crisp white for the baseboards, the trim, the casing, and the doors. Or do the black doors, depending on the design, but create the doors, create interest through the doors, but just as a neutral white. A warm white has been what we've been doing.
Okay.
And you see that in all the magazines, HGTV, all that stuff.
Okay, and then what are the common things that we're doing in the bathroom to potentially add value? Again, kind of really talking right now about potentially adding value. What are we doing in the bathroom?
So let's look at the tub. I walk into the room. What is that tub? Is it a shower? Is it a tub? What state is that in? Because that's going to be the objectionable piece in that room. So and that's the most expensive part of that.
So the tub. So you're saying the tub is the most objectionable. That's the one thing that it's kind of the centerpiece, right? It's the one thing that people are looking at that right away you either love it or you hate it.
In my opinion, if it's gross, let's just say that. If it's gross,
yeah, okay.
I mean, I'm not
sure.
So
or not just gross, but outdated.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, a lot of them just outdated. You're like, or it's like, hey, I don't in a master, right? I don't necessarily want. Not that you see it a lot, but I don't want a tub and shower together in a master. Not again, you don't see that a whole lot anymore, but it's.
But we're seeing them built in, and then now the trend is for freestanding. So we're taking out those built-in tubs and putting in freestanding.
Cool.
And then opening up that space for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's say the kids' room. You want a tub for the kids because you got to give them baths. So if somebody wanted to do 2 showers or 3 showers, and I don't want that tub, well, no, we'll keep the tub in there. Somebody's gonna have pets. They're gonna have kids. They're gonna need that tub for some reason. So let's keep one tub in that house. I personally don't like them, and I get somebody doesn't want to take a bath in a tub, but leave it there for that situation. So what does that tub look like? That's the one we're going to have in the house. 3 bath, whatever, 2.5 bath. Let's keep that tub there. What does it look like? Can we spray it? Can we spray porcelain on it and revive it? The hardware, the drain, that stuff's all replaceable. Home Depot sells it.
Sure.
Rejuvenation, the retailers sell it. You can go high end or low end on that. So that's objectionable. If there's crusty scales on that hardware, that's replaceable. What is the base of that material? We can spray porcelain on it, revive it that way, or else we can do a total gut replacement. So that's what I look at first. If that bathroom had a shower, what does that pan look like? Can we reuse that pan? Can we do something quick? And then my eye goes up. Where does the wet wall end at? Where does the protective surface for that water end at? In your 90s, 2000s home, they usually end about 6 feet up. So we want to then look at the tile and how we can bring that up to the wall.
Okay.
Up the wall. 12-foot ceiling's we're not gonna go 12 feet high.
Okay.
But 8-foot ceiling, we're gonna go all the way to the top.
How about 10?
10. I'd go on the field, but I would go up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But how does it feel in the space? Is it going to feel like a giant column going up?
Yeah.
Then we'll cut it out.
Sure. Okay.
But yeah, we always raise the shower head up. I want to make sure that that's protected and we do a good job. Okay,
cool. Real quick, going back to the kitchen, you're probably not putting appliances in terms of what you're doing, but you're doing some fix and flips and remodels for yourself. What's the kind of the trend right now as far as appliances?
It's stainless or it's the panel fronts.
Okay.
Depending on the price point that the homeowner wants. We're redoing the cabinets, so we're going to put beauty panels on the dishwasher, the ice maker.
You're doing more panel fronts on luxury, or are you doing that more consistent? Are you starting to do more consistently with more under $1 million?
No.
All luxury. Yeah. Okay.
Nobody wants.
Yeah.
I'm not getting money out of that if I'm flipping, so I'm not putting that into that. So.
Okay.
Potentially. I mean.
So that's not something you're getting your money back, but in terms of trends, that's what you're seeing. Okay. So what I heard you say in terms of. Did you want to add something else?
Oh, I want to go back to the bathrooms.
Yeah, go ahead.
So as we look at that, the bathing area, new toilets. Toilets are gross, so we want to make sure that there's a new one.
Okay.
$250 for a toilet.
No brainer.
Plumber to put it in, So
not going to add value, but it's a no-brainer on the resale.
Yeah, my wife's not going to come in. It's gross, right? I don't want somebody else's toilet.
Yeah.
And then that vanity. So we've been pulling out the old cabinets. We've been putting in furniture pieces. So vanities with legs on them, so you can see under the floor and give it more room in this space. So those are the 3 sort of elements for every bathroom. We take the plate mirrors, throw those out, and we put intentional. If it's 2 sinks, we do 2 mirrors. 1 sink will do 1 large mirror the size of that vanity. It'll be framed. It'll frame in the space, and it'll take it up a notch from those plate glass mirrors. That vanity light, hopefully there's a light there. We just replace that. So a few $100 to replace that light. Labor through the electricians on top of that, but just creates a whole new space.
Okay, awesome. So recap: if we're adding value, kitchen, bathroom, floor, paint. I mean, those are kind of just, and I think it's always been that way, really. But if that's really what we're looking at. Yeah. Okay. From your experience, so again, you're flipping some of your own, so you're actually selling some of your own properties. You're adding, you're spending, let's say you spend $50,000 to do your remodel, as an example, right? So we talked about value. Does it add value? And we know in some cases it will, in some cases it won't. By the way, that's why you work with a real estate agent to tell you your values, and then I team with you to say, hey, I think we can add value. What can we do? What's this project look like, right? Now the question is, well, we've put $50,000 into it, so we want to make sure that it sells quickly. Obviously, we don't want to lose value, but we also want to make sure that we've given ourselves an advantage to sell more quickly. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that a remodeled home sells faster than a non-remodeled home?
It goes in 6-month increments. So I'm going to say that this 6 months, no, because people are buying anything. So they're buying the fixer-uppers, and then I'm coming in and fixing them up for those buyers. So the goal is, yes, if something's sitting on the market for so long, but the inventory is low at this point, then everything's selling. So,
right.
So no, but again, we're working on this on the buyer side, and we're working on the seller side. So we can work on both aspects. We can do it quickly. Somebody wants to go to market, we can update them quickly. Somebody wants to move in. I do all the quotes and the pricing when they're closing that out. So hey, I'm closing on the 31st, the 30th. Can you get my pricing? Can you get all the stuff lined up? For when we get the keys, I'm the first one in there. We're starting the next day after they close on those houses.
Okay.
Hey, we got 3 weeks to move in, but we're right there to get those houses ready for them.
It's interesting because my experience, and maybe it's just kind of at that bread and butter price point where I have investors looking, and my experience is whether it's a seller's market, balanced market, or buyer's market, the homes that jump off the market fastest are either A, the homes with a pool, always homes with a pool in Phoenix, right? But remodel. So my experience is like, if it either has, and of course if it has both, it's huge bonus, right? But those two fly off the market the fastest in any market. So it's interesting. But I think you're right. I mean, I think to a certain extent, it depends a little bit on the price point you're at and some of that stuff too. But I think in that bread and butter price point, if a home is remodeled, people are much more apt to, that house is much more apt to jump off the market faster than the house that's not.
Yes. And so this June, I've been looking at coming soon listings, and I've been looking at, okay, what's going quickest?
Yeah.
And it's stuff that's updated is going quickest, but I'm also watching how quickly those non-updated homes, because I want to target them. If in 30 days, 45 days, if they're not selling, if there's not traffic, don't lower the price. Let me come in and let's have a discussion about how can we update this and make it better. So again, the initial, you're giving someone a discount if you lower the price. So can we turn that into a positive and make you money instead of you losing money on it?
Okay. So somebody comes to me and they say, Todd, we want to sell the house. Does it make sense to remodel it before we do it? I look at the comps. I say, yeah, I think it probably does, but we need to check with Keith. We need to look at see what the pricing, what the project looks like. We decide, yes, this makes sense. Can they finance it with you? What does that look like? Can they pay you at closing? And then kind of what does that process look like?
Sure. So we have financing through our own private financing group that we'll do 6 months, 0 interest.
Okay.
And it's a soft pull on their credit until that 6-month mark. So if they don't sell the home in 6 months, then it becomes a soft, non-collateral loan.
Okay.
So that after 6 months, then
so 6 months, no payment, no interest.
Right.
Okay, and then.
So it doesn't hit their credit.
Okay.
So if people have objections to, I don't want to get a loan because I'm trying to sell this house, I'm trying to buy a house, I don't want my credit hit. We don't hit that. That doesn't occur until 6 months.
When does the clock start on that? Does that start the day you start the project, or does that start the day when construction starts? Okay. So if it takes so actually that's a good segue. Lead into if I want to do. If I want to do everything, I want to do floor, paint, kitchens, bathrooms, and obviously it's going to depend on the size of the house. So let's take a 2,000 square foot house, just as a kind of bread and butter example, and I want to remodel that. I want to kind of do everything. As a general rule, 2,000 square foot home, say here in Old Town Scottsdale, home built in the 1950s that needs everything. What kind of time frame are we looking at typically to finish that? From start to finish.
Cosmetic, like we can do that in 6 weeks.
So explain that. So when you say cosmetics, what does that entail?
So if we don't have to replace the cabinets, the kitchen cabinets,
meaning you're painting them,
yeah,
and not replacing them.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's a that's 3 days worth of work versus, oh, now I got to measure the cabinets, I got to check the supplier, I got to order it. So that's 8 weeks right there, right? So if we can avoid stuff like that, if we can get stuff in stock, when we specify for your approval, we check the stock on it. So if I give you a light fixture for approval, I can buy it that same day. So that's our process to look at these materials to get them. So kitchen probably 3 weeks. But so
does that include? So that's painting the cabinets. Is that? Are we replacing the countertops?
Countertops, yes. Okay. So that's about 2 week lead time. So you sign my contract. I'm telling my fabricator, like, hey, I got this contract. Can you go look at this house and get this done? So that they have 2 week lead time on that. So within 2 weeks, we're getting two countertops in.
Okay.
And then we're painting the cabinets right after that.
Okay.
And the pictures on the spot.
Yeah.
And the backsplash cabinet, that comes in, it needs 2 days for that.
Okay. Okay. So that's kitchen. How about the entire house? Now we're painting the house and we're remodeling we're doing flooring.
Yep.
Painting the house and remodeling. So when you throw it all together, what's an average time from start to finish?
6 weeks. I'll spend a week for flooring, a week for painting. So add that as scheduling time, and you don't want the flooring guy stepping on the paint. So yeah, we need a little bit of gap to schedule this out.
Okay.
But a total gut, I would say 6 months.
6 months total gut.
Total gut. That's you're taking on walls out, removing walls.
You're talking about functional obsolescence now. We're restructuring the house.
Yes.
But if we're just doing cosmetic, kind of like we said, then 6 weeks is a general rule, and then going back to the payment. So 6 weeks, you throw it on the market at the 6 week mark, and then you have that time to sell it, and then they can pay you through close so long as it sells inside that, which it should if it's priced properly and with all the remodels. So okay.
I think January we were seeing them sit for 90 days, 100 days. We're not seeing that anymore.
Okay.
We're still within the need of that time frame.
Yeah.
You should be able to do it and not have any cost to it.
And again, it's all market specific. So we're talking about the market right now today. Obviously, if it was an extreme buyer's market, that can vary. But as a general rule, it's very seldom that in Phoenix we end up. I think we had a buyer's market out of kind of this whole last with interest rates going up. I think December was classified as a buyer's market, and then in January we went back into a balanced market. So it was literally lasted a month, and it wasn't even an extreme buyer's market. But obviously we know if you're watching this, and we know that it's all market dependent. So call me and we can sort through that. It doesn't sound to me like supply chain is still a huge issue for you guys. 6 weeks isn't very long when you're getting countertops and a lot of that stuff. Supply chain isn't an issue like it was a year ago.
No, windows are a problem. Doors are a problem.
Okay.
So that's not the cosmetic stuff. That's the full gut job. So those are lead times we're getting. So the houses I'm doing windows and doors on, those are the pain points for me.
How about bringing in more natural lighting, and just kind of circling back to that for a second, because lighting is such an important part of selling a home. So when we either adding lighting in the home, like the recessed lighting, or whether it's bringing in natural lighting, which obviously is a pain point because supply chain with the windows, you said, is an issue.
We're doing recessed cans as much as possible because they're
Yeah.
neutral, they're not offensive, and boom, they bring the light into those spaces.
Yeah, and that's not an expensive project, but it makes a huge difference in terms of the sell. I'm glad you actually mentioned lighting or windows and stuff, because lighting is such a huge part of the overall process of selling a home. A dimly lit home is very hard to sell. It can be completely remodeled, but if you don't have great lighting throughout the house, people don't really see it, as well as they should anyway. So.
And I trust electricians. They're the professionals. We walk the house, and I'll say 4, they'll say 6 lights, right? So they know what they're doing. So hey, we got this in the budget. Can we do it? Yeah, we can do it. So that's the joy of working with professionals like that. I trust the tradespeople, and they know what they're doing. But yeah, bringing the light in, adding more lights. I like lights in showers. I like lights in closets. Like as much light as possible, so you can see what you're doing. Again, I'm coming from the senior background, the aging background.
Yeah.
More light for aging eyes. I like turn on lights at night. I can't see stuff as good as I used to. So.
Well, but I'm a video guy, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and when we're listing or just whether my client's an investor looking for an Airbnb, it's got a photograph,
sure.
or whether we're trying to sell it, or if I have a buyer looking at it. Regardless, you know, for me being so heavy on video with everything that I do, it's like lighting is everything. I mean, for me, I would put in the lighting almost before I would put in all the other stuff, because again, you know, you can remodel a home, but if it's just dimly lit and it's poorly lit, I don't think it's worth doing it. And this is my opinion. I may be completely wrong. I don't think it's worth doing a full remodel unless you can put in the proper lighting.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like the lighting. If I'm doing it, the lighting has to go in.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And we did a simple fix in a home earlier this year. We took the sunshades off the back windows. They had solar shades on the windows, and it just felt sort of claustrophobic and dank in there.
Yeah.
We took those off. We painted it white. Boom. It's a completely different space.
It's amazing what the little things are doing. Kind of like we talked about right at the outset, right? With restaging the house just a little bit, just moving some furniture around or decluttering or whatever it is. The littlest things can make the biggest difference selling a home. How does somebody reach you?
Website, renovationsells.com. You can find our location on there.
So they go to renovationsells.com, and then your location is the Scottsdale, although you do service some other areas around Scottsdale, correct?
I've got basically Ahwatukee through North Scottsdale out to Countertops.
Okay.
So that's my territory.
Okay.
And
so renovationsells.com, Scottsdale is how they find you directly.
yeah, they can go any. I'll get any information. The headquarters shares it with me.
So if they put their information in your area, then that information is going to go to you.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, they can, if they're just renovationsells.com, it'll come to me. So
Okay.
They want to reach out.
And then of course I would add that the other way to do that is to contact me, where we can actually look at the comps, see if this is something that makes sense, and then I can refer them over to you so that we can look at the project and see if this actually makes sense for a client. So that's the other way, is they can reach me, then we can flip them over to you, or they can reach out to you direct as well, just to kind of get an idea what the scope of that project looks like.
And I like to have the agent assist with that process. I'm not pricing homes all day. You guys are. You're looking at the markets. I'm doing it just from a business aspect, but and for my flips. But I'm a contractor. I'm looking at materials. I'm looking at finishes. I'm looking at those products. I rely on you guys to help with that discussion and say, okay, yeah, you know, here's these comps. This is a fact here. This is something we can achieve. And if Keith's saying to you this is the amount that you're going to invest in that. I do conservative budgets. I don't like change orders. I want to make sure that we can get that renovation into the budget that we discussed with the homeowner. You know, stuff happens, of course, but finishes change, specifications change. I saw this when I was shopping this weekend, so the budgets do grow, but
yeah.
I want to make sure we're all on the same page, having the same discussion, the same language on that budget. And but yeah, you know, if you spend $25,000, I'll make sure you know, is it $75,000? Is it $50,000? What's the delta on your money coming back? So.
Yeah. Cool, man. Hey, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, did you like that video? Show me some love. Hit the like button down below. Drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were. Then be sure you subscribe and tap that alert bell. And from there, I'm going to do all the heavy lifting for you. We'll create the content. We will notify you every time we create new popular videos right here on Phoenix Homes and Hotspots. And then check the description below. I have some other related videos down there. Or you can check out two of my most popular videos right here.